All right, before I continue, there's one more thing that I really want to cover real quick about this guy. So, a lot of the online feminists, the baby feminists, hello, Black Diamond, a lot of the baby feminists have been, they had been best friends with this guy because this guy, he had pictures of lipsticks on. He lives a certain type of lifestyle. I think it was a well-known gay person or something like that. So in Nigeria, I'm not sure how they, obviously I'm not in the world, and in that world, they cannot be caught in the act because it's a 14 years prison sentence, right? But they can live their life like Bobrisky, right? So he was one of those people, which is why they probably got attracted. All these weirdo couples got attracted to him and then flew to Dirty December and then get entangled up with him. Okay. I think the point that somebody was asking who is Oluma. This Oluma and there's a few other feminists, baby feminists on Twitter. Some of them are breeding new people and new people every day. Now I always tell people I'm not just going to outrightly judge these people. The reason why they build such a huge audience is because a lot of people feel betrayed, feel violated. A lot of young girls feel violated and betrayed by society that have what we call the grape culture, right? So when they're looking for a safe place, sometimes they run into bigger troubles. This is life. That's why I say if you need help, seek proper counsel, because where you are trying to run, this happens to men too. They're looking for solutions and then they run and say that's all over the internet. Before you know it, they stumble into the manosphere and they start repeating this manosphere talking points. Some of us have been having this conversation for years, and we can hear it when you're angry and you've been listening to weirdo type of shit. We can hear it because it's the same talking point. Women divorce 70% of the time. Why are they leaving us? What they only leave because women only divorce because they are only when they are not happy. We can hear it. We've been hearing that for you think you are the one you thought you just discovered something. But we can hear it. The same thing with the baby feminists, right? You can't make 2 or 3 sentences without using the word misogynistic. There's nothing wrong with the word misogynistic, but oftentimes I'm hearing people talking and there's no substance in what they're trying to say. They're just angry. So of course, you run back and forth. You end up in this kind of people's web. So some of this, I guess one of them is Oluma. That's who they were, and they are being dragged. Obviously, Solomon Bucci was dragging them, like this one right here, Kiki Muddy. I have been vacationing with my family, taking a much-needed break from Twitter against my preference, but owing to its urgency, I had to see some of this horrifying tweets everyone else has seen. I'm still processing it. There's a lump in my throat and a knot in my stomach. A few people have reached out to me to seek my voice in prosecuting a person I've called a friend for a lengthy period. You see, they're not mentioning his name. That's what Solomon Bucci was talking about. But they're very quick to mention other people's name, including the Apostle Suleiman, is he, or Pastor Emmanuel or something like that. I know all those ones are corporates too, usually. but you get the gist here. Like again, dear, take it. If you're going to create, you want to make sure that the solutions you're creating does not create more problems. That's where a lot of people miss it, and they don't hold themselves accountable. They don't feel responsible for the big, huge followers that they've created from a place of pain. People will follow them easily because a lot of people have been hurt. On either side, either we're talking about the recovering simps or the baby feminists, there have been a lot of hurt people, and they're going to deem it fit to jump there and start repeating the same talking points and get angry. Some of them are still in a relationship. They come back home, they destroy their relationships with stupid ideologies that really doesn't exist. Everybody, they collect for this life. She said, my voice, albeit tested to extremes, remains actively against grape culture. I'm exhausted from having to do this for yet another friend, but do it I must. My trust has been violated, as have many other women who built a safe space on this foundation. I'm working with close allies, equally distraught but committed to create a safe reporting channel. A lot of people just want someone that will repeat their talking point, people that will pander to their feelings, and they can't deal with any version of truth that comes against their feelings, you know. So that's that one. And let me see, another one here will be, here's another one. Aussie, stop dragging me into lies. Okay, no matter how many times you tag, tell, or reach out to my family members, send journal requests. They know how to speak this English. I don't know what that is. I've been very clear that I have nothing to do with Maki or Ezra's Poliku, at least this one mentioned names, and do not have this fabricated close personal relationship, which is what maybe she's a feminist. They will group all of them together and they drag everybody ma collect me. Pressure. Ọlọ́pàá máa kó everybody ni. All right. I don't know what this is. Okay. They said Solomon Bucci is misogynistic for having a Christian conservative worldview, getting married, loving your wife, submitting to your husband, complementarianism over equality of results, but they were hanging out with a pedophile. One thing with the baby family is that they will tell you that they want to protect women unless they deem that woman a pick-me, then they will drag that pick-me by her wigs and the blockers that she doesn't have. What does that tell you? Hypocrites across the board, undefeated. Okay, I've had a few of them try to test me sometimes. They ask questions. I have answers for your questions. Generally speaking, I avoid not just conversations with baby feminists. I avoid conversations with recovering simps because they are blind. Unless you pay me, you have to pay me. If you pay me and then obviously you deem me there's somebody that can help. Outside of that, just for debate, why? No, I'm not doing that for free. I'm sorry. Because they can't see past their pain and they're just looking for gotcha moments. That's all they're looking for. Just another gotcha moment. Gotcha. Oh, you were dumb. The other day, some of them tried to redefine simp. What is a simp? I said gullible man. They said gullible and they started digging through the gullible and then it became, the only thing is if I have any, I'll just learn. Okay, I will take the opportunity to learn. If I mistakenly engage you in that kind of tussle back and forth, but it won't last because I know they engage. They have to pay me. Okay, so that's the thing. So it's just a very dangerous world that we live in right now because human beings are discovering more and more new stuff about themselves, and they don't know what to do with themselves, especially our young people. The Gen Z extended into the millennials, especially millennials that are going through divorce, millennials that have traumas, childhood trauma that they've never dealt with, and a lot of them, they read a lot of books that basically help them rate those pain, and it's just very messy out there. And when you jump into any one of these conversations, just listening, you can hear the pain in their voice. So that's why it's very hard for me to judge them from I don't like judging from a myopic place where I would just say, feminist, can you call, like, no, calm down, listen. I'll try to listen, okay? But I have my own biases. That's the truth. So it takes a lot sometimes to listen to something you can't exactly relate with, But there we have it, guys. So I'm going to move on from this story. I just wanted to make sure I cover that basis because that was trendy today. What is the lesson in all of this? The lesson is very simple. I was watching Ebuka's new podcast earlier on, and there's a young man up there. I haven't finished watching it yet, but you guys go check it out. It's called the title masculine. Just type in masculinity Ebuka on YouTube to come up after the show. And there's this young man up there, maybe I think he said he's 44 years old or so, because I think I might have heard him say he's celebrating the 4th anniversary of his 40s. Okay, something like that. But he's not married, and he was speaking from a place, and he said they asked him, Bebuka asked him and said, why are you not married? And he said, I think I know too much. If you go there, you see my comment that says, I know too much is a real thing. It's a real thing. Knowledge does not always translate to wisdom. And also, it doesn't always translate to being able to execute your life. properly. There's a lot of people with even good wisdom. They can speak, but when it comes to their personal life, they struggle. There's many people in history like that. So you need to make sure you define your objectives very well, and make sure that you are well surrounded with the right knowledge, but also translated very well to wisdom, but also beyond that, executable information, because a lot of the knowledge you have is just noise, right? You see some people, they can't wait to tell you the new nonsense they've learned, stuff that are all valid, but they paralyze them. There's something called paralysis by analysis. Like you just know too much and you can't even move anymore. And then they asked him, say, is it that you have fear? And he said, he wouldn't use the word fear, but maybe like worry. I'm like, it's not the same thing. But a very wise young man, I hope and I pray that God will bless him with his own. But I'm just telling you, it's real. It's real. Some people are not lucky to be around good friends. Some people will end up getting so angry, they end up in the wrong ditch on the internet, where there's a bunch of people pandering to themselves, repeating their same stupid talking points that clearly has not changed their life. Because I mean, if you look at last 6 months, you've been repeating the same shit, and nothing is changing. You keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's called insanity. Ladies and gentlemen, help me hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. I'm moving on to the next story. Let's talk about Baba Ijesha. I think, I'll be right back.
This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife, Lola, and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.